$1,400, and we have been staying on top of all of it for you right here on News Now from Fox. Currently joining us live this morning is Gary Kaltbaum. He is a Fox News business contributor to kind of break all of this down for us. Good morning. How are you doing, and what are we expecting today on Capitol Hill?
Doing great. Thank you for asking. A lot of debate is what's expected on Capitol Hill as a fight is on, which will be won by the Democrat side. There's a lot of movement in the bill right now, but $1,400 checks will be sent out. They've lowered the number down to $75,000 a person, or $150,000 per couple. So that is good news, because I'm a big believer in the bridge. But there is just, they always say, don't let a crisis go to waste. There is just a lot of what I call stuff in this bill that does not need to be in it, but they're taking advantage of the COVID and the marketing of it, and a vote will get done after a lot of debate. I'm hearing they're going to talk. One senator is looking to have the whole 600 to 700 pages read on the floor, so it's going to be a lot of camera work to go.
What are you expecting the vote is going to be? They're allotted 20 hours for debate, right?
That is correct. The vote is going to be partisan, but it'll get done. The Democrats have the votes to get done. I believe the moderates in the party will be voting that side also.
So you think it's going to pass as is? You don't think there's going to be any modifications made to it?
There may be some in it. You never know. But I think the bulk of it is done. $350 billion will be going to the states, even though they don't need it. Even the New York Times said the states had hardly any drawdown because of the last COVID bill, but that's going to happen, and that's going to help with poorly run pensions by some of these states. And then there's things like bridges and money for the arts and humanities and things like that I don't just get. But when they put together a bill, they throw a lot of things against the wall, hoping it sticks.
All right. So as a Fox News business contributor, how do you think this is going to impact the economy?
Not as much as people think. Without a doubt, whenever there is spending, when money goes out to the consumers and they spend it, that helps in GDP. But a lot of this is in outlying years. A lot of this won't be spent for 5 years, so not as great as could be. But for me, on the level of people, that $1,400 check for couples, for individuals, and then for couples is a big thing. Again, a bridge is needed. There's still plenty of people out of work. And by the way, there's also going to be some extra unemployment in there also.
One thing I want to ask you while I have you, I mean, I grew up learning that there's no such thing as free money. These stimulus checks, this is going to be the third round should this bill pass. Eventually, are taxes going to be risen? Are Americans going to have to pay back this money?
Well, to be clear and concise, there's never anything free. And when government tells you they are spending, no, it's the taxpayer. It's always the taxpayer. Our debts are enormous, and eventually bills will have to be paid. They use the excuse that they have rates down at 0%, so debt is not bad. Debt is bad. It is going to be on our kids, their kids, and their kids' kids as we move forward. And we're now hearing about an infrastructure bill coming next. Based on all debt also. So the game is on. Spending is the power of the politician, and they're using it as far as the eyes can see.
Yeah, a lot of people consider this just kicking the can down the road. So what is the option then? How do we recover from this pandemic?
Well, we have been. Just so you know, in this quarter, we're looking at 8% GDP growth. The best way to recover is hopefully over time the economy opening up. There is huge pent-up demand from people and savings. Our airlines are still flying only at about 40%. Imagine when that gets just to 75%. So I expect GDP numbers to roll. I expect the economy to get going again. And you can't stop the American people. I'm the most optimistic I've ever been. Unfortunately, I'm the most pessimistic on the people in Washington and continuing to put us in debt more and more. Now, I do believe that a lot of this has been a necessity. I believe the PPP was a very good program, and I believe there's more of that to come. A bridge was needed, but I'm a little bit worried they're taking it too far at this juncture, but there's no turning back right now because the votes are there.
Now, I understand this question is not in your expertise, but we did hear that there could potentially have been a security threat on Capitol Hill today, so the House canceled their session. The Senate, though, is going to continue on with this COVID-19 relief. Do you think that this tells Americans that senators, regardless of whether they're Republican or Democrat, they understand the need to at least open up this discussion and to get something done?
Well, look, for the bridge, the quicker the better. I don't know if one day changes the playing field, and leave no doubt the safety of people and our politicians are very, very important. So the fact that they do believe there are threats out there, I get it and understand why they would, certain parts of government would table things at this juncture and have absolutely no problem with it. Again, safety should be number one at all times.
All right, Mr. Kaltbaum, anything else you'd like to tell me that I didn't get to ask you?
I think we covered all of it. We just wish everybody great health, and more vaccines can't come soon enough at this juncture.
All right, Fox News business contributor Gary Kaltbaum joining us live here on News Now from Fox. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Taking a live look now, everybody, at Chicago, Illinois, the gorgeous downtown skyline. Most of you are going to see a 2-minute commercial break.